Awesome. Audio rolling. I'm gonna stand in my spot and... Whoa. Welcome to Null Reference Error, the only show where I make games and I don't have a brain. That's the null part. That's where the So if you don't know, recently I made a video game, which you probably wouldn't know because you've never heard of this channel or have seen this video ever before in your life. So yeah, I made a video game. It's a pretty fun game. I'm pretty happy about it. I'm pretty excited that I made it. It's nothing too big. It's a top-down shooter game where you essentially defend a tavern. It's, you know, gloriously called the Untitled Tavern game. It's not related to the Untitled Goose Game at all. It's a very different thing. I just couldn't think of a name, and I thought it'd be funny to just not have a title. But yeah, you can check it out on itch.io. Like, the link is, like, right here somewhere. You can, like, click on it, look at it, you know, give it a kiss, read a bedtime story, buy milk, and actually come back. But I recorded several devlog videos while I was making it, but I got too lazy to upload them, so I figured I would just edit them now and make like a full-on like documentary of my insanity as I made this game. So yeah, that's kind of what this is. Yeah, I made the game. I made the game. Started. Oh my god. Oh shit. I started making the game back in September 14th, and then I finished the game by October 17th, and I uploaded October 17th to itch. I'm recording / editing this around November 18th. The reason why is I wanted to give myself a month to like detox my brain from all the bullshit that happened and be able to focus up. But yeah, so well, I'm disappeared. I can green screen myself out. I don't have to. I realize how stupid I am, but yeah. So this is just gonna be a video of me developing a small game over the course of a month. We're starting off in the middle of September, which is a little weird, but hopefully by the middle of October we'll be done. I'm doing a quick little top-down twin-stick shooter with a wave-based forward enemy, maybe like a melee enemy, or if I'm feeling a little crazy, a melee and a ranged enemy. It'll just be like player health upgrades, speed upgrades, different weapon types. I have a few potentials listed out here. I'm not going to get to all of them, probably, because I only have a month, but my goal for this is less to make a game that is perfect and more to just make a game and put it out there, because that is an important part of game development, is being able to release a game. So I'll put it up on itch for free. The narrative design also might change. You slowly get money or body parts by killing zombies. I'm still deciding on that. I'm not 100% sure what I'll be doing there, but it'll be something along that line. So right now, the goal for the first week is less actual game development and more planning. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be creating like a Trello board. So that's the, well, there's more to the backlog, but essentially, the reason why I'm being very specific with all these tasks is because it's very important when it comes to game development. Oftentimes, what people do is they put a big task like finish player movement. But what does that mean? Like, what kind of movement? What exactly is the movement? And if you split it up into smaller tasks, not only does it better define what kind of game you're making and what you can do, but there's also small goals, right? So you'll complete smaller goals, and when you complete that goal, you'll get that sense, that serotonin boost of like, oh, I completed something. So essentially, one of the resources that it's going to be part of this game is time. Depending on how much time you have throughout the day, you can collect weapons. But if you spend that time collecting weapons, you don't have time to place traps. If you spend that time upgrading traps, you don't have time to collect bones and all that. Currently, right now, we're going to be working on player controls. We're going to do player collision. Actually, we'll do these three for now. I want to give myself more. We'll do player collision and player can damage enemies. The enemy stuff, we'll see if we have time. But for right now, this is just part of the sprint. I can always take from the backlog if I want to. We're going to go ahead and open up Unity. And I'll give you guys another update once I've gotten at least one of these working. Okay, so I just finished player controls. So the WAS player controls. As you can see, the player does in fact follow the mouse. I can spin it as fast as I want. He does move when I press WASD as well. I'm not using Unity's like input system. I don't want to. The bullets do die whenever they collide. They can hit essentially. There's some more I can do to add on to that, but I think for now this is probably a pretty good thing. So yeah, that's the update for now. I suppose next I have to do collision with walls and tables, damaging the enemy. I just added like a simple enemy, but I guess next I'll have to damage the enemy, and then we'll look at some enemy stuff. All these are finished. And Yeah, I'll have to change the weapons a bit more, but I think for now we're good. Yeah, I'll see you once I've made a few more upgrades. Okay, so I got a few things done. If I go to finish features, we have player controls, player follows the mouse, he shoots projectiles, collision with walls and tables is done, and player can damage enemy. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I made the player into a circle. The reason why is because it was easier on colliders. So for example, if I run into the table, originally what was happening is that there would be like some weird like jitter. I think if I go into like the corner, you'll see, yeah, there you go. You can see like a little bit of jitter. So by making it a circle, it makes it a little bit easier. It still happens at corners, but I mean, I don't care too much about that. Again, he can fire. The bullets go away after a while, but yeah, I can hit the enemies, and after a little bit, they die. What's cool is you can actually see that, so there's two points of damage happening every time the player hits the enemy. The weapon has its own damage value, and the bullet has its own damage value. The reason why I'm doing that is because that way you can upgrade weapons that give you extra damage, but you can also upgrade your ammunition that also adds damage on top of the damage you're dealing with the weapon. So the enemies right now are actually taking 2 points of damage for every hit instead of 1. So if I open this up and I look at the enemy, for example, this enemy right here, you can see that he's taking 2 points of damage every time he's hit. Then if we go here, then same thing, 2 points of damage every time he's hit. And then the bullets like also disappear after a while. They each have a timer on them, so after a while they just disappear so that the bullets don't stay forever. And this timer can be increased or decreased. Their lifetime is 5 seconds. You can honestly make it 3. So yeah, that's kind of it for now. I will be making other edits today, but I think for now we got a good amount done. I am happy with the stuff we got. There's also a good amount of stuff for like player upgrades there. So there's move speed. We have the weapon controller and all that. I can honestly add like player health. I haven't even had player health yet, but I think we'll be getting into a few of the enemy stuff at least really soon. That's kind of it for now. So yes, after that it'll be enemies can damage player, and I think I'll be doing enemies spawner before I do upgrades. After that we have to day night system. That's something that we have to focus on, is having a day night system, and that'll come with the enemy spawner. So the way I can do that is essentially I'll have it so that during daytime there'll be like a timer going on. So when it's daytime, we'll be fine, the timer will keep going, nothing will spawn. When it's nighttime, that's when the enemy starts spawning, all that. So I need to have like a time manager that basically updates the time, and the random enemy spawner keeps looking at the time manager to see what happens. That's the backlog for this stuff. I would honestly like to have this done by this week. Game is harder, win screen, lose screen, maybe even player upgrades, enemy upgrades, change enemy stuff. Actually, well, this will be different bullet types. The weapons are normal. The bullet types are like, the bullet types can be like a grenade or whatever. Time as a resource. So I would like all this stuff to be done by this week. Again, this is going all the way till Saturday. If we can do that, then I'm thinking next week could be just polishing and also adding all this stuff. And then the 2 weeks after could be playtesting, bug fixes, as well as adding art to the game. And then it'll be done in a month. Again, I'm releasing it in a month regardless of whether it's fully done or not. I kind of don't care. My goal is to just release it. It's my first game that I'm ever making by myself, so it'll be terrible. I know for a fact it'll be genuinely awful, but I think I can do it. I think we can do it. And I have a month. If I work on it, honestly, like every day for at least like an hour, like I did today, I will be able to get all the stuff done. So it just depends on how much time I have to work on it. Yeah, so that's kind of it. That's what I'll be doing. And yeah, so I'll keep updating you guys as time goes on. That's it. Yeah. All right. Okay, so I've done a good amount of work on the project so far. It's been a minute, so I was able to get quite a bit done. First thing that I did was I renamed all this stuff to Alpha Backlog, Alpha Sprint, and Alpha Features. The reason why is because this is the Alpha. Right after Alpha, we're gonna have to focus on Beta, which is where we do the art, where we do bug fixes and all that. For Alpha, all we need to do is just make it feature complete, so that all the features are done. Once that's done, then we can work on Beta, which is, again, making it look pretty. I'm also going to have a content lock where at some point I will just stop adding features. No more features, no more content. All the dialogue should be in, everything, and that'll be like towards like the latter end of beta. And for content lock, all we do is just work on the art, like art for promotion, set up like the itch.io page, set up a web page if we need to, but that's kind of it. After content lock, no more features are being added. It'll just be me working on the art assets and making everything look a little prettier. So that'll be it. But right now, yeah, we're still in alpha. So most of the alpha sprint backlog is done. I'm assuming I would like to get the rest of this done, because again, I do have a month. So we have alpha, we have beta, content lock, and then release. So I suppose 4 stages. So realistically, all we have is alpha, beta, and then content lock. We have 3. This week is alpha. We'll give ourselves another week for alpha, because if the features are not in, then there's no point in going to beta. So we'll give ourselves, we'll say, not till 24th, but we'll say October 1st. The alpha backlog needs to be completed by 10:01. Otherwise, every feature that we don't complete by the ending of alpha, we're just not doing. I could keep a few in mind for beta, but if it's like a big feature, like for example, like protecting Tavern customers, if that is, or like using time as a resource, which we already have, but if that's not done by the end of alpha, we're just not doing it. So that's usually how it works in most game development companies. Like there's a feature complete deadline where your features have to be complete. If not, then those features are just removed from the backlog. That's something that's really hard for me, but I have to accept the fact that I set myself a deadline and I have to stick to the deadline. So far, I'm doing pretty good on the deadline though. So the RES can already change enemy values. All I have left is enemy upgrades and player upgrades. For player upgrades, that's easy. I can have custom bullets and custom weapons that add more. But for enemy upgrades, I already have 3 types of enemies. I have range, mini boss, and then all melee, which all kind of act the same at the moment. But I'm not gonna worry about enemy upgrades. We'll already put that in here. All we have is 1 item left. So let me quickly show you what we've gotten so far. So right here, I've created like a larger test scene, and it doesn't have any tables or anything, but there is a random enemy spawner. You can see where like the stuff is. And if we wanted to, I think we could actually duplicate it right here, and we can just kind of rotate it so that it fits in right there. So we'll have enemies spawning between this point and this right here. And then what I have to do is I have to go to time manager, and I have to hook up random enemy spawner 1. Okay, go ahead, save that, and then both these should be spawning at the same time. Right now, I think we're on day 11, so they're gonna be spawning relatively rapidly. It's only oh no, okay, cool. That scared me so bad. So the blue ones are ranged. So yeah, and then I don't know why it's doing that. It should be spawning both. It is spawning both, but for some reason the one on the left is spawning more than the one on the right. So yeah, I'm not gonna worry too much about that right now. No, I will. I am worrying about that right now. I'm panicking. I mean, this isn't making them spawn. This is just telling them what to do. I don't know why it's spawning any different, but so yeah, that's what I have. It also uses how hard the enemies are based on like a spawn percentage. So right now, if I set the number of days to 0, and the spawn percentage is calculated by the number of days. So I have this number of days value that's right now. If you set it to 0, I believe it'll just be 60, 30, 10. So 60% melee, 30%, 30% range, and then 10% mini boss, which again, these numbers are subject to change. But if I set it to like, let's say we do like, we're on day 12. If I set it to day 12 and I press play, you'll see that these spawn percentages change to where there's a lot more mini boss, there's a lot more of this stuff, and then you see there's even like more spawns. As the days go by, it'll be getting progressively harder, and the harder bosses will be spawning. As you can see, we're barely getting any melee enemies at this point. I don't know why. Hoping we get at least like 1 or 2. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. God, that scared me so bad. All right, cool. So it is... Okay, we're fine. So yeah, so this is random enemy spawner. Again, the melee enemy, the mini boss enemy, and then the ranged enemy. There's no different. I'm gonna work on the enemies in a little bit. I should probably add that to my list. That's something I want to get done this week. I also added like a loose screen and a win screen. It's nothing too serious. Loose screen is just loose screen, the win screen is win screen. I added space at the bottom so that I could potentially add like the number of days you survive. The spawn difficulty thing, make enemies harder, and then the win screen. So I've spent most of my time on making enemies harder. There is a day and night timer. You'll see this is actually really cool. but it'll show me the actual time because I have a timer going on right now. So it should show us the actual time. There we go. So you can see it's showing us time. Time is going up really fast, but if you notice, whenever we hit 6 a.m., it'll turn to daytime. So right now we are at nighttime. I can go into the time manager to show that it is in fact nighttime. So monsters will be spawning pretty soon. We're gonna hit the daytime. It'll turn to day. Yep, it's daytime. So yeah, and now no monsters spawning. It'll last the entire day. Monsters won't spawn. So yeah, that's kind of how that works. I suppose that's it. A few goals that I've added for myself is an event-based dialogue system. I want there to be a story to this, not a complicated story per se, but a story nonetheless. Just like a background for why your character is doing what they're doing. And do that, I need a dialogue system that works based on what day it is. So like at the moment it turns daytime, the dialogue system will check what day it is, and if it's a certain daytime, then it'll enact something. So that's something that I have to figure out. But yeah, that's kind of it for now. If I have any more updates, I will let you know. And yeah, all right. I'll see you in a few. Okay, so welcome back. It's been a minute since an update. It is currently 9:25. The date is September 25th. I took a small break on Friday and Saturday. The reason being is I had family over, plus I felt it was probably good to take a break, considering we finished the first week of alpha. So now we have the rest of the alpha sprint backlog. After which we will have the game done. So yeah, we got a few things we're working on. Again, so we finished a lot of alpha features. We finished day and night system and all that. But to give you a quick update, I'm working on a daytime menu. So whenever it is daytime, you'll be allowed to place traps, make traps, and you can spend a lot of time fixing traps. You can spend a lot of time collecting bones and resources, and you can spend time like upgrading weapons, which upgrading weapons is not my biggest thing right now. I also need to make a transition, so this is something that I have to work on as well, which will be my second thing to work on. But alpha backlog, or the entirety of alpha, should be done by this upcoming Saturday, which means we'll be going on to beta. I am a little bit worried. We have hit a point where I've become increasingly more worried. The reason why is because I'm concerned that not all features might be ready by October 1st. Which means I first need to organize what's important versus what's not important. And if I'm being fully honest, I think I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I'm not 100% sure on what to do. I know protecting Tavern customers needs to be on there. That's 100% needs to be there. I just need to try to get this done, because I feel like if I take away any of these mechanics, the game just doesn't feel done. So I'm a little worried. I know different bullet types and upgrading weapons is probably going to be last. Yeah, I'm okay with not upgrading weapons. I'm okay with not having different bullet types. But placing traps, a dialogue system, shops, and all that, that's very important. So I will try to get the daytime menu and transition done. So this right here, this is the speed pickup. It increases your speed. As you can see, I go from like, oh, well, I guess I'm not picking it up. And then the weapon damage increases your weapon damage. And this is a bone. You can use bones to upgrade weapons. That's kind of what, like make your weapons damage higher, which has me thinking, what is the point of these pickups? Because if there's already a weapon damage pickup, then what am I using bones for? I'm using them to make traps, I guess. Maybe bones don't upgrade your weapons. The weapon upgrades make your weapons, but bones just make traps. And enemies can randomly drop these. Oh, the way I did enemies is now, look at the melee enemy, I have a on death script, and there's even like a loot drop. So there's like a loot box here. So right now they only drop bones, but I can drag any one of these in, the damage pickup, the health pickup, and it'll even give them like a chance to pick one to drop. So an enemy base, what it'll do is that this is the loot drop method for each game object in the loot method. There will be a chance to drop it. If the random number is less than chance to drop, it'll do it. Otherwise, it'll just like continue on. And that will decide that for each one. and I think I did this not well. Because in this case, this can actually drop multiple objects. I think the way I need to rework this should work. This should theoretically work. If I go, I'll actually test it right now because I'm a little scared. Please drop bones. Okay. Okay. So which will be? Oh, it's just it's not instantiating it. Oh my god. Okay, what I did was I just stored the data and I forgot to actually spawn the object. So right now, a bug that I'm dealing with is that enemies can pick up pickups. So let's go to pickup base and see that. That should work. I believe compare tag returns a boolean. There we go. Awesome. That is quite rad. Okay, please start spawning enemies. Oh shit, dude. What is up? What is up with my mouse? I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, sometimes the mouse does weird stuff. This won't be an issue when you rebuild out the game because it'll be facing your mouse exactly. But sometimes, it just does some weird things. Cool. There we go. So now it's only working if you pick it up. But yeah. So anyways, that's basically what I'm working on. I totally got sidetracked, but this is the goal. Right now, I'll be actually fixing a few bugs regarding the spawn because I need to do that right now. Otherwise, my brain won't leave me alone. And then I'll get to work on the daytime menu and transition, and I'll give you an update once I've done that. So, yeah. Alright, welcome back to another update. By the way, today's date is the 28th. If you've been keeping up to date, the alpha sprint ends on October 1st, which means we have about 1, 2, 3 days. Thursday I'll probably be busy. Friday I'll also be busy, so I just got Saturday to do a bunch of stuff. I believe that by tomorrow and Friday I should have the event-based dialogue system done. And if I have time, we'll add upgrading weapons, but I think we're probably not going to have time to be able to have different bullet types and a save system. Don't believe that'll be a thing. I will have to see if I can squeeze that in during beta, because again, these are pretty big systems. So it just depends on how much time I have and how much effort I can put in. That being said, I do have a lot of mechanics in here that, are pretty fun. And so like this is Bill. Bill is an NPC, and I can even show you. The game gets harder as time goes on because you have these enemies that are not only like, they're trying to go after Bill, and Bill moves randomly. So you see like they're all focused on Bill. And this can make some interesting gameplay. Bill can get hurt. Bill's current health is at 3, which is not good. And when Bill dies, the time manager will notice that. I'm putting everything in the time manager, which is very scuffed, but it doesn't matter. It's a very small game. Usually in a bigger game, I would have a game manager that would reference that, but in this case, I only need one singleton, and the time manager does basically everything. So yeah, I can just have that. But yeah, so that's kind of what's been going on. I'm thinking about how I can add the NPCs. They're going to be prefabs that are instantiated in, and whenever they're instantiated in, the time manager is just gonna have a list of prefabs that are alive, and when one of the Bills dies, then the time manager just dies. Yeah, or like God, I don't know what I'm saying. Whenever one of the NPCs dies, the time manager notes that, and whenever all the NPCs dies, you lose the game. So that's something that I can actually probably add like right now. And we're actually gonna have a quick script. I'm so tired right now. Or do you want to try? Oh god. So this is the and so this is a list of NPCs. I don't want to list or false. Game up. So listed. It'll go ahead and automatically like add them to the everything. Void check. Now list of transforms. So now we have. All right, we did it. We did it. Yeah. Bum 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 bum. We did it. Yeah. Oh man, dude. Dora the Explorer. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Okay. So this should be it. We're gonna let him have Bill. Bill, I am very sorry. It's been fun. They got Bill, and we should be fine now, but we are not fine. I guess the error only happens sometimes? Dude, I got no clue. This is the most scuffed follow code I've ever written in my entire life, and I have no idea why it's doing what it's doing. I got no clue. I genuinely have no idea, and I'm terrified. Nothing about this seems bad to me, though. That's the weird thing. Nothing about this seems particularly bug-worthy or error-worthy. It's just a random error that just happens. I'll let him have him. It's gonna have an error. I can feel it. No, it's not. I fixed it. Okay. All right. Well, that we fixed it. I don't know what I did. I fixed it though. Oh my god, dude, I'm losing my mind. I don't even know what I just did, like, the whole time. What am I doing here? What is the purpose of my life? So we got a decent amount done, but yeah, we have a bit of road ahead of us. Event-based dialogue system, upgrading weapons, and time as a resource. So we'll actually do this one first because I'll take the least amount of time, but I will get that done tomorrow. I'm hoping, I know I'll get this done tomorrow. This one I'll start tomorrow, and I don't know when I can get this one done. But by the 30th, I should hopefully have all 3 of these finished, or at least 2 of these finished, and then I can spend the first doing some other stuff. Yeah, beta will start on the 2nd. We're getting very close. So, yeah. Shit. Okay, so, welcome back. My camera's not on because I just woke up, but, as you can see, we are firmly now in beta. I actually don't have anything on the Trello board to show you because the whole point of beta is to make everything look good and have art, but, one thing that I have to focus on, which is a little scary, is the fact that it is already Thursday. I have about 3 more days. Well, I mean 4 if I count Sunday. But I have 4 more days left of beta, and I still need to do the player character sprite, the NPC sprites, berry sprite, the enemy sprites, all 3 of them. I still have to do the main menu art, as well as the cutscenes, the dialogue cutscenes. So yeah, it's gonna be... It's gonna be interesting. I still don't know how to do the dialogue cutscenes. Yeah, so I have this template that I'm using for like drawing art. So I'm just gonna trace over that and draw out as much as I can. But realistically speaking, this is gonna be very difficult. In fact, I don't know if I can get the dialogue scenes done. And if I can't, what I have to do is just start the game with no story. So I'm not 100% sure what I can do, but let me show you quickly what I've done so far. I redesigned the tables. They look pretty okay. I'm not the biggest fan of how they look, but I also don't hate it. As you can see, the bullets are also shooting. One weird thing is that the bullets seem to like not face the mouse, which is kind of weird. I'm trying to add a custom cursor, and I will, but I want to test it. I don't know why it's specifically facing away from the mouse. I am planning on changing the nighttime and the daytime like pop-up that happens, so that's something that I have to look into as well. There's particle effects and all that, and it actually looks kind of cool. And yeah, I just have a really busy schedule ahead of me. Beta is always scary for me because I am not good at art. Art is not where I specialize in. For me, my specialization is programming. So having to add art is a very weird thing for me. I am happy with the art that I have. It's not perfect, but it's you know, it's my style. And I am happy that it exists. It doesn't look horrible. It doesn't look like perfect. I am planning on trying to add a shadow underneath the table, but we'll see. I don't know how far I'll get. And yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick update. I might extend beta for a few days, considering marketing hopefully won't take too long, but we'll see. So yeah, that's the first beta update. Holy shit, we're almost there. Alright, it is approximately, not approximately, it's 6:32 on Sunday, October 9th, and I have to get beta done tonight. Which is a big deal, because I haven't done any of the dialogue systems, I haven't done any of the sound system, and I need to get that stuff done ASAP. Otherwise, this game is unfinished, and I just have to. I can't work on it anymore. Obviously, I have to send it out too, so I will be doing bug fixes, but that's like the minimum I'm doing. Part of my brain is kind of relaxed because I'm like, oh, I mean, I'll just extend the deadline, but I'm trying to be as strict with myself as possible. After today, it's content lock. I cannot do anything more than bug fixes. I cannot add anything. I cannot add any assets. I am only fixing assets or removing assets. That is it. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit of an interesting time. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go take a shower, and I'm gonna go ahead and come back, and I think I will probably just spend the night hammering away at this. Yeah, I'll see you then, loser. All right, I'm not really worried about audio, so I don't have my mic set up, so if this kind of sounds like shit, just kind of ignore it. We are currently in day 2 of what would be content lock. I say what would be because I've extended beta. I know, boo me for not sticking to my own deadline. But I realized today, after a lot of thought given to this issue, and also consulting my professors and a few friends of mine, I just think it's better for me to release a finished product that is fun to play than a product that is released on time. That's just it. The main point of this game, for me, as a designer and developer, is to be able to have a project that I can say I have fully released and finished. Because right now on my portfolio, that doesn't exist. And this project is meant to be like, hey, I did something, and I finished it, and I released it. I'm still going to release it. There's no chance in hell that I'm not going to release this game. But I want to release a product that is finished. I would much rather release something that is feature complete and looks good and is fun to play. And that means adding sound and feedback and a little bit of camera shake and all that fun stuff that I need to add in order to make this a fun game. If I were to release this game right now, like content lock it and just focus on marketing, the game would have no sound. It would be boring. That's just a fact of game development. So I've given myself an extra week. I probably won't need the extra week, but it's better to have more time than less time. October 17th is 6 days from now, so hopefully the game will be done by then. I still need people to beta test it, so we'll see how we go. If I have to, I'll push it another week, but the game will be released by the end of October. There is no chance I'm working on it after October. If I don't finish this game, like all the features or the sounds or whatever nonsense that I have left, I am releasing it. At some point, I will cut my losses and say, hey, this is a product I released. Not too proud of it, but here it is. Hopefully, I release it before that, and I release it completely in a way that leaves me satisfied. So, yeah, that's just a quick update. All right, that's it. That's it for this update. I'll get back to work. Alright, so this is going to be like a retrospective of the project. Like I said in the beginning, or if I didn't say in the beginning, depends on how I edited this. This project was finished on October 17th, and this is November 18th. So I've given myself essentially 31 days to be able to process the information and be able to talk about it in a way where I can look at it from a third-person view, essentially. And I suppose for a retrospective, it's important to talk about what worked and what didn't work. And I think for what worked, I will say a good chunk of it worked. I think a good chunk of it came together by the end. But mainly, the most important thing that worked was my determination to stick to a deadline. I know I pushed it a week, but I didn't actually go over my overall deadline. I just adjusted the deadlines within that main deadline. So that's something that I haven't really done before for any of my projects. So that was a good thing to do. Separating it into alpha builds and beta builds, as well as like content lock and all that, gave a really interesting outlook on it. I gave like a really interesting perspective while I was working on it as well, because I was able to understand that whatever I accomplish will not be the finished product, but I am accomplishing something. In terms of what didn't work, the organization of the code. I think that's a big thing that didn't work. My code is so messy. It's incredibly messy, and I should have had a moment where I went back and refactored everything. But by the time I finished the project, I hit a point where I was like, I don't want to look at any of this code ever again. I don't know if I'll ever get back and refactor it, but I am going to make newer games. I definitely will. I definitely will make more games. I'll make newer games. I think another downside of this game was a lack of understanding on what I really wanted to do, because there was a bunch of mechanics in there that I added room for that didn't need to be there, by the end, and I really should have. I have a terrible concept of time, but I really should have spent more time in places that mattered. For example, like I said, the weapon system is very modular and it's very, very upgradable. But I spent so much time on the weapons that I didn't spend enough time on the artwork, and I feel like I could have done that more and made probably a better game in the process. So yeah, I mean, you know, you learn from every project you do. Overall, I had fun. I'm not going to stop making games. I'll keep making more of them. I'll keep making devlogs like this, but this time I think I'll make them while I'm making the game. And, yeah. Yeah, it was fun. I had a good time. It's really cool when you have an idea and you accomplish that idea and you play it and you're like, oh, that's sick. This is mine. I made this. Like, that's awesome. That's a really, really cool feeling. It's been like a really weird year or a couple of years for everyone, but being able to make something and put it on my portfolio, knowing that I made this and it's mine, like that's super cool. That's really, really cool. Yeah. Okay, bye. I'll see you next time. Don't die. Eat shit.